Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us at the August monthly meeting for EVCO, both in person and online. Yes. Okay, let's get going. So on the schedule tonight, it's a bit of a packed evening, so we'll try and not overrun. But since Raymond's not here, we should be on time. So we have Henry with the plug and charge update. If you have a non-Tesla car, there are now charging network. You can just plug in and start charging. Not to fiddle with phones. We've got some road trip charging, which is Adam, right? Then I have a talk about climate change stuff. And we've got the news from Lawrence and the usual roundtable and whatnot. So Henry, come on down.
So for the first time on Sunday, I tried auto charge on the electric circuit electric network. And so first of all, you want to set up your app. The new version of the app allows you to do auto charge. I don't know if you guys can read this here, but is the red button?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 4 steps. Tap on activate auto charge, find a compatible charging station and press finish setup. Follow the instructions in the app for the complete setup, charge your vehicle with auto charge. So basically the rule, in summary, the first time you do it, you actually have to instigate it from the app. And I'll show you a video. And you want to go through this screen before you get there. And then when you're looking for a charger, you see this symbol with the blue circle. You want to make sure that the charger has that symbol on it. I didn't find any chargers in the electric app that did not have that charger symbol. So yeah, these are a couple of screenshots from the app. Make sure you have the latest one. And here's a little video of me doing the first step where I am setting up for the very first time. Do I just press next and start playing?
So, yes.
Hello, EVCO. Here we are in Ottawa at the Ben Franklin on Centrepoint Drive, the Circuit Electric Station, and we're going to try plug and charge for the first time. So here we are in the app. It opens on the map, and we want to go down to the account section, go to My Vehicles, and see that your vehicle says that it's waiting for auto charge. So this is for the very first time that we're trying it here. Then you go back to the map and you choose the charger that you want and get the charge started. So here we are, and we want to hit start on the DC fast charger, complete auto charge, configuration, setup, plug in your vehicle. Here we go. Now I'll start my timer to see how long this takes. I missed about the first 10 seconds. I hear clicking going on. Congratulations, you can now use auto charge with this vehicle. And there it is, charging.
46. That took 35 seconds.
Yes. 35 seconds. And I think it took about the same amount. So that was the very first time. And then the next video is me just, okay, here we are. Next time, pretend we're at a different charger. We've gone somewhere else. Now that we've set it up, let's try plug and charge for the first time. I haven't done anything on the app. I'm just going to plug in. I'll start my timer and see how long it takes for the charge to initiate. I hear clicking going on at the
charging station. I think it's negotiating right now.
There we go.
There we go. Took about half a minute.
There we go. That is auto charge on circuit electric.
And just to confirm, it doesn't work on Volkswagens. Yeah, and both. And it's
So you did, on the second one, you did touch your alcohol and drinking, just unplug and plug in and work.
Yeah.
I think Lawrence also said there are security concerns with the way that it's been implemented because it actually looks at the MAC address on the car and somebody could theoretically spoof your car and steal your charge. But I mean,
Yeah.
the app is going to tell you if a charge is started. So I'm not really worried about that person.
Get notified. Can I add something to this topic before I get introduced on the next topic?
Auto charge.
Thank you. Because I also discovered this on Thursday when I was road tripping in Quebec. And so I did set it up at that video was great. I think we should post that to the YouTube channel. The first time I did it, because Electric Circuit's a wallet app, I didn't have enough money in my wallet. And so I set it up and then I plugged it in, and then the screen on the charger said canceled by car. I'm like, what? Do it again. Cancel by car. Cancel by car. So what is going on? Then I realized it was a wallet app. So I added $10 and I plugged back in, and then I was all good. So for the people watching on YouTube, this is just a special treat for you guys, a little troubleshooting tip that if it says canceled by car, check your balance in your wallet, because maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also enable auto refill on your wallet, and then you never have to worry about it unless your credit card expires. But you don't have to worry about it for a long time.
The second time it terminated when I was away from the car because I ran out of money again. Yeah.
Are there other, guys like the circuit, anything else, any other apps that are doing this yet?
Not that I'm aware of. And this was a surprise to me.
I have it with Electrify Canada, but I think that's limited to Volkswagen and Audi right now. They designed it for their own vehicles, but. I think
preparations for the diesel
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You need an update on the app for that?
I needed a car update in order to enable, so I'm gonna try it tomorrow, actually.
Okay, Adam.
Take it away.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name's Adam Manzer. I'm a member of EVCO, and I'm going to introduce myself because Mike came to be the clicker and sat back down. So I'm going to talk about road trip charging. So road trips with EVs. Road trips are often cited as a reason someone doesn't want an EV, right? Oh, I go so far every summer. And I gotta stick with the hybrid just because like I just need that gas safety net, right? So the implication is obviously that EVs can't really go long distances. So but people don't really see chargers out in the wild. They're not as obvious as gas stations. This is something we've talked about before, right? So let's look at some use cases, shall we? This is the Ontario 401 corridor, down all the way down to Windsor, down there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and Ottawa is all the way up in sort of the top right. There's a lot of charges. So I'll point out I do have a bit of Detroit here, and there's some America here, but PlugShare was showing me 627 different chargers, and these are all at least 50 kilowatt chargers. I filtered out all of the level 2s. So there's 620 50 kilowatt or greater chargers in this map area, right? So you can go down the 401. You don't have to worry about it. It's fine. The 401's pretty bleak kind of place. But you can come down to 7 now too from Ottawa if you're in Ottawa like we are. You can come down to 7, and there's a couple of stations in Peterborough now. I did that very successfully this year. Now that I can charge with Tesla, I used the Tesla chargers in Peterborough and was able to drive all the way there and then get all the way to London just with that one charge. So it was pretty fun. I mean, you're wanting to get out of the car and pee by that point anyway, right?
Yeah, so down the 401 corridor, not a problem. What about the rest of the Windsor, Quebec City corridor up into Quebec? Well, I mean, Quebec is an even better situation than we are, right? There's very little America in this one, and there's 543 stations on the map. And this is mostly Quebec. Very little Ontario here as well. And I mean, like, this is Montreal. You go to Montreal, like there's 1,000 chargers per capita there. Like it's crazy. There's a lot of that. That is not a real statistic. But there's a lot of chargers on the island of Montreal and the surrounding area. We just came back from our road trip on Thursday. Came back from Trois-Rivières, and it was great. We were driving along. And we both realized we were kind of hungry, and we're like, "Oh, where are we gonna stop? Oh, maybe somewhere we can charge." And it was like, "Oh yeah, in 5 kilometers we can pull off." There's a charger right next to a McDonald's, it's 150 kilowatts, and it was an electric circuit. And we were able to just plug in and charge. And I drained my wallet and had to go back. And anyway, I set up on a charge after that. Yeah, and then okay, so not everyone goes to Windsor. Some people go to Sudbury, apparently. So this is, it's gonna be hard to see on this. So we've got Ottawa down here, bottom right hand corner, and we've got Sudbury right here, sort of middle left a little bit. So there's chargers along here too, right? And you can do it. I did the mapping and everything, and then it works out. You can get to Sudbury. Wow. Some people are Sudbury. Some people go to Thunder Bay. Yeah, you can go to Thunder Bay. You want to go to Thunder Bay? That's fine. Go for it. There's chargers. 14 minutes to charge, 19, 23, 31, 15, and then you're in Thunder Bay. Boom, done. It's a mere 19 hours if you want to go.
Which is the same as the gas car.
Which is just about the same as gas car. Yeah, I mean, maybe a gas car could make, well, it's 19 and a half. Maybe a gas car could do it like 18 and a half.
Well, you still have to eat.
You still have to eat. Exactly, right? And so if you're eating in less than 23 minutes in Sault Ste. Marie, maybe you need to slow down and chew your food a little bit more. Ah, 31 minutes in the middle of nowhere at a Tesla charger. Like I just, it's too long. It's way too long. I got good news for you. You can do it in less. You can charge in more stops. So this is a betterrouteplanner.com, by the way. Sorry. And they let you, there's a slider between few but really long stops and then quick but lots of stops. And so this is all the way up in the quick and lots of stops. So yeah, like 11 minutes. I think there's a 10 and there's a 12 there. So the longest stop is a 12-minute stop. Yeah, this is going to take you 21 hours, apparently. But if half an hour is too long for you to wait, then you can do it this way. So you can road trip in an EV. That's all I want to say. What else do you need for road tripping an EV other than a vague plan? Okay, I know people are like, oh, I have to plan everything. Yeah, kind of like a vague plan is good enough. What else do you need? You need adapters. So I'm looking on YouTube at the Tesla people, and I'm looking at the I'm never paying Tesla anything people. Get your adapters anyway. Doesn't matter. Just get them. Okay. I'll tell you why. Because Tesla's not the only one who's going to be installing Max pistols pretty soon, right? Electric Circuit, Electrify Canada, and Flow and Ivy, and all the ones that we know and we love, they're all going to be installing Max ports pretty soon. So even if you don't want to give Tesla any money, that's fine. More power to you. I would be right there with you if not for Peterborough. Get your adapters because it will open up so many other chargers. And just like Chadmo, trying to find a Chadmo plug right now, it's probably pretty hard, right? This is going to happen to CCS. If you've got CCS, eventually we're going to get to a point where it's going to be hard to find CCS plugs. Luckily, they speak the same language, so it's just an electrical physical conversion. Like there's no smarts, there's nothing. The adapters are relatively cheap. So these are the two examples. So we've got the level 2s here on the left, and that's J1772 NAX, NAX to J1772. And then over here on the right, we've got the level 3s. We've got up here at the top, we've got a NAX to CCS, and at the bottom we have CCS to NAX. I have examples of my next to blank adapters here in the room, if you're in the room. You can take a look at them if you want.
Wow,
Yeah.
heavy.
Buy your adapters. What else do you need? You need apps. And yes, there's too many apps. There's way too many apps. One of the other EVCO members showed me his folder of EV things, and I'm like, this is 3 times the size of my folder of EV apps, which I thought was a lot of apps. So here's just a few. Plug share. That's the number one right there. Plug share. It is a crowdsourced app. It shows you where the plugs are. That's it. It's easy. But unfortunately, a lot of the manufacturers don't open up their APIs, so PlugShare doesn't know whether it's occupied or not. But it's good for like geolocating and like, oh yes, that's where I think I want to go. And then you look at the brand of that charger and then open up their app, which is silly. I know. Charge Hub, they're trying to do a similar thing. They're also trying to integrate with the providers so that you can pay using Charge Hub and not have to deal with that third-party app. Or I guess Charge Hub's third party in this picture. Yes, I don't know how successful they've been. I haven't really had that one on my phone very much lately. And then a Better Route Planner. They have their own app. I think it's Android Auto compatible, so you can like drive with it and plug it in and it'll do the whole thing and everything. So I use the web interface and the app to do my planning, and then I don't usually drive with it just because I don't usually use Android Auto. It doesn't connect with my EV6 in the way that Android then knows about the battery. So
You just need to pay.
no, it's not compatible with my year. I don't think.
No, it's just an OBD thing.
Oh, I need to buy an OBD adapter or something?
Yeah, the Bluetooth OBD dongle, and then you just have to pay a subscription to EVRP. And then it'll work.
I do that. I recommend it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In later models, the infotainment system communicates directly with the phone so that the phone knows what your state of charge is at and is able to like do that kind of stuff. But also the directions don't pop up on my heads up display. So I just like using my car better. Okay. Yeah. Told you there'd just be a few. All right. Flow. Okay, there's you can use a wallet. And so some of this, okay, this is going to be for reference, I hope. But Flow, you can use an internal wallet or a credit card. You can use it as guest. That's pretty cool. ID doesn't have a wallet. Yay. You can use the map as a guest. Because some of these you can't even like launch unless you have an account, right? So ID and Flow, good for you guys. Electrify Canada, you can use a wallet or a credit card. I'm not sure if it has guest mode or not. I tried to sign out of all of these and
I don't think it does.
yeah. Electric circuits. It has only wallet only. But hey, it has auto charging, which I was gonna like announce to the world, but Henry stole my thunder. So good stuff. No, that's totally fine because you did a way better job of it. Journey. You can use credit card. They have in-store rewards, so that's cool. Not just 7 cents a liter off of gas. You can also get a $5 M&M gift card or in-store $5. So that's cool. You need an account to see that one. Shell, you can use credit card. You need an account. Petrocan used to have an app, and then I opened it up recently.
Yeah, you just pay on the thing,
Yeah, oh, you can just pay on the
like a
on
gas
the-
station.
Wow,
But
that's
then
cool.
They have no monitoring that.
Yeah,
Can you use the Petrocan app?
they killed the Petrocan app. You just go to
Yeah, but the
the,
gas one.
you go to the pedestal and you tap your card and that's it.
Yeah, so, but like, how do I find the Petrocan station,
Good
right? If I
question.
want,
I
if I
think
want
their
to use
chargers
the app,
are
right?
with someone else. I think they're with like EC or something.
I don't know.
So
That's a great question.
yeah.
Petrocan's a gas company. They don't really know.
They
what
have some
Well, so does Shell, in
Yeah.
Germany, right? And they know what they're doing.
anger.
Yeah, well,
There used to be a Petrocan app. I opened it up and it was like, we deprecated this app, please uninstall it. So I did, and the gas version was not very good, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Hey, look, there's more. These are from Lawrence, no, sorry, not Lawrence, Carl's phone. Autel, I think it seems to be dealers only. I downloaded the app and like looked around and didn't really find anyone that wasn't on a dealer that said no public charging. So I don't really know. Charge points, another network, you can charge without an account. Yay, for the small fee of $1. Like, I'm giving you my money. Why do I have to pay you more money just to not have an account? But that's done. Chargeaway, another network aggregator kind of app. I don't know that either of these are going to supplant PlugShare, but we'll find out. Maybe Chargeaway will do a kill and everyone will switch to them. EV Connect, another account is required for that one. And then Tesla, which is a bit special. You can explore the stations without an account. So let's talk about the Tesla app for a moment. If you are a CCS user, if you're a non-Tesla driver, you're going to need the app just like everything else, right? The Tesla app is the everything app. I wouldn't be surprised if sometime in the future I have to download the X app to make this all work, because like you can do charging, you can do your car, you can do Powerwall stuff, all with this app. And anyway, so yeah, here's the home screen for the app. You can, so what you want to do to set up your car. So if you haven't put your car in yet, when you try to explore the app, it's not going to tell you anything useful. So start with the menu on the top right hand corner, the hamburger menu there. And then you will, you're going to have to make an account, of course. So then you go to charging, and then this shows you your history if you have history. And then there's vehicle details here down in there. You tap on that, and then you can add your vehicle. So you just put in your make, your model, year. You can put in your max range if you want, and then do you have a max charging port or an adapter? Yes. If you say no, then they're just gonna be like, I can't help you. Oh, actually, they got the magic dot. Like there's 2 in Ontario or whatever it is. Also not a statistic. So yeah, you put that in, and then it repeats to you what your details were, and then you can remove your vehicle if you want. So then you can go and you tap that explore stations, and it'll probably center you on Africa at 00. And so a little tip, tap on the arrow again. That's what they use for the geolocate. It's not that like circle across through it, but like everyone else does, they use an arrow. So tap on that, and it should zip you if you've given it the permissions. At that point, it should zip you to where you are, and then you can list them. Tesla charges different amounts based on whether you're a member or not. And at Boundary Road, which is nearish by where we're having the meeting today, it was 82 cents a kilowatt hour, which I thought 70 cents a kilowatt hour at Electrify Canada in London was egregious. Like 82 cents is just nuts.
Horrific.
But you can save like 11 cents a kilowatt hour if you become a member for $17 a month. So if you're doing lots of charging, then anyway.
Is it cheaper after like 10 or 11 p.m. or something?
Yes. Yeah, that's true. If you have time of use. And yeah, it's from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. It's this price. Outside those hours, it's like 40 cents a kilowatt hour. But who's going to be up at 11 or I think it's going to be up before 10. But yeah. And then you tap on the station, and then you tap on the post, the numbers down at the bottom of the post, so that you tap on it and start charging, and then it's a pretty normal experience after that of what you're used to from any other charging app. And I think that's it. That is it. Thank you.
Okay, so I've done talks like this over the years a little bit, but I couldn't sleep one night, so I made a slideshow, as you do, because a lot of people are like, well, I'm worried about climate change. It causes anxiety, but like, I'm just one person. What am I supposed to do about it, right? And so I thought, well, I have some ideas on that. So I made a slideshow called "How to Actually Do Something About Climate Change." And no, it doesn't involve not using plastic straws. So climate crisis, we all know it's kind of a big deal. Today, it's not that hot, so that's nice. I kind of enjoy the fall weather myself, but it is not normal for August to have like freezing temperatures in the morning sometimes, like frost mornings. So that's weird. So clearly there's something wrong with the planet. And so we're all familiar that, you know, climate change is real. There's no debate anymore. There hasn't been a debate for like 10 years. So just get everybody on the same page. If you don't believe that, then I can't. So a lot of people are familiar with the concept of a carbon footprint, right? Because to fight climate change, you have to know it's all about carbon, right? Carbon emissions, all that stuff. And so you're asked about your carbon footprint. And a lot of people don't realize the carbon footprint was actually invented by an oil company. And the concept was to make you feel helpless, right? Because we're spewing gigatons of CO2 into the atmosphere as a society. And you calculate your carbon footprint and it's like, pick a number, doesn't matter, like 100 a year or something, right? And you're like, well, 100 is nothing in a gigaton world. That's pointless. What do I even care? Like, and it's meant, the whole idea, the psychology behind it that BP was going for, and the marketing firm that helped them, which was also the same one that did the cigarette stuff, the tobacco is safe for you kind of thing. Same people. Their whole thing is to make you feel insignificant and small. And so when we feel that way as a human, we are less inclined to actually do anything about it because you're like, well, what does it matter? What was that? Oh,
You have to restart your computer before you use the camera.
whatever. Okay, Raymond, to cut this out, more editing. All right, so carbon footprint is kind of a dumb idea. It's meant to make you feel guilty, right? But it really doesn't matter. They want you to do the status quo, right? The status quo is burning oil, and like, why would I change from a gas car? I can't road trip in an EV, right? And so this is all by design.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
There we go. So what I propose is we have a little bit of a leveling up challenge thing. So you can be a level 1 climate change fighter, right? I thought I'd gamify the whole thing because it's a bit more fun that way. All right. So the easiest thing to do as a level 1 climate change fighter is to replace your small engines, right? Because it turns out the small engines in your house are the worst polluters, right? And I swear under my breath, not so quietly in the backyard, whenever my neighbor starts mowing his lawn with his outrageously loud gas mower for some reason, I'm like, it's the 21st, it's 2025, man. Why do you have a gas mower? Like, what are you doing? And it stinks, right? And these are relatively cheap things to buy, right? They're not that expensive. So there's like lawn mowers, there's leaf blowers, there's snow blowers, there's anything that a gas engine can do, a battery can do better. And so that's your level 1 climate change fighter. And this will actually make a bit of an impact. You'll stop using a bit of gasoline every year. My neighbor in the spring would always run his snowblower till it died because gas doesn't keep over the summer very well. I would just put in some stabilizer and then pretend it didn't exist and then try and start it in the winter, and it would always, be a pain in the butt the first time, but then it worked. Anyway, switch to electric, don't have to worry about that crap. Then once you've done that, that's the easy stuff, right? Low-hanging fruit. You can become a level 2 climate change. So level 2, and I think at least all of us in here are probably at least level 2.
That's my fault.
Yes, thank you for the photos. We can switch to an EV, right? Because that'll make a big difference, right? People spend 50, 60, 70, sometimes $100 a week on gasoline, especially if you have a pickup truck or some ridiculously huge vehicle that's has less forward visibility than an M1 Abrams. True fact. That is a real statistic. Yeah. The F-150 has worse forward visibility than a main battle tank. So there you go. Replace your current vehicle with an electric one. That's sort of the whole thing that the group is about, right? If you don't need a vehicle, don't buy one just because it's an EV, right? But if you do have a vehicle, then it's 2025, man. We don't buy gas cars anymore. That's ridiculous. It's like buying a steam locomotive. Who would do that?
That would be fun.
Yeah, sure, but not as your daily driver. It's a hobby, right? And the faster you switch to an EV, the better it is for everyone, right? And a lot of people think, well, I'm going to run this car into the ground, right? But what you're really saying when you're saying, I'm going to take this Honda Civic that's 20 years old and drive it until it dies, what you're really saying is, I'm going to maximize the pollution that this car can produce in its lifetime. because cars get recycled, right? So the faster you take the burning piece of crap Honda Civic off the road, the faster it stops polluting, right? So we don't want to maximize the lifespan of gas cars because that's just maximizing the pollution they will produce. What you want to do is switch to an EV. And if you keep an EV for at least 2 years, you've made up the carbon emissions of producing that EV. Right? So as long as you don't get rid of your car after 2 years or before 2 years, then like you're doing better for the planet if you bought an EV. All right, level 3, climate change fighter. This is where you get serious and get real and start using real money. Decarbonize your home, right? And this can be a years, probably decades long process. I'm still in the middle of this, so I'm only 2.5 maybe. But some easy wins is replace your gas furnace, right? You can get a cold climate heat pump. They are magical devices, or you can get a ground source heat pump if you go that way. They are right. They make heat in the middle of winter somehow out of the air, and it's crazy. And they just use electricity. They're very efficient. But before you do that, you probably want to like make sure your house is pretty insulated and airtight and good. So definitely do the small stuff first, like the attic insulation and the windows and all that. Then you get a heat pump because there's no point in using the super efficient heating system if your house is a sieve. Replace your gas water heater. Replace your gas range because asthma is bad and you don't want to burn methane in your house. That's ridiculous. Why would you do that around your food? Are you kidding me? No, induction all the way. Also an induction, by the way, just those who don't have one. If you ever boil water, an induction range is mind blowing because it takes like 10 seconds. It's insane. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like you put the kettle on and it immediately starts boiling. It's nuts. So highly recommend induction. And you can get one at Home Depot for like $500. Replace your gas dryer. You can get a ventless. So I've done all of these things, and we actually cut our gas line to the house. And my wife was a little concerned about that. She's like, "What about resale?" And I'm like, "No, I want to make it as hard as possible for somebody to get back on fossil fuels when they buy a house." So we cut the gas line. There is now no gas main on my house, and I'm like, and our house is less exploding, so that's good too because there's less chance of a risk of explosion, right? Because methane is exploding. So you can do all of these things. The next things I want to do is a backup battery for the house and maybe some solar panels on the roof. So I haven't gotten there, but I've done all the other stuff. So our house, we have a sign on the front and people ask us about it when they come door to door selling us like, pest control or whatever. They're like, what does an electric house mean? I'm like, you don't have gas. And then they get confused and start asking questions. So it's cool. So you can do that. And that is a big difference too, because housing makes up like a third of our emissions or like buildings. So if we get rid of the little oil fire you have in your basement all winter, that makes a difference, right?
Another heat pump in your house?
Yeah, cold climate heat pump.
Does it work in winter? How good is it in winter?
It works incredibly. It works so well that I couldn't believe it. And I took pictures, which I didn't put in the slideshow. I have them in another slideshow, but it was minus 30 outside on the thermometer. And our house was set to like 22. And it was 22. And then I went down to see what the heat pump was generating. Because it has a little display that tells you what like the input heat is. And it was making 30 degrees, like plus 30 Celsius. And I was just like, physics is weird, man. It's so cool. But yeah, cold climate heat pump, the backup heat has never come on in my house. Like we have electric backup as like because you need it apparently by code or something, but it has never been used. I've been tempted to pop the breaker on it because I just don't want it to be used, but whatever. The heat pump is really, really good. And it's a forced air house. It's a normal house, like my house is in the 60s. It's nothing fancy. But we just replaced our furnace with the heat pump.
I've done a heat pump and it doesn't work well when it's minus.
Yeah, there's different.
Minus 15 and it really is.
So you don't have a cold climate heat pump. That's an old school heat pump.
I don't have what?
A cold climate heat pump. So there's different kinds of heat pumps. The older technology is just a normal heat pump, and those are good to like minus 15, maybe minus 10, something like that. The cold climate heat pumps are good down to minus 30, minus 40. It's just that they use a better refrigerant, so it's more efficient at colder temperatures if extracting.
How much do you pay for it?
15 grand for the whole system, which is replaced our air conditioner and furnace all at once.
Including installation or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
And when was that?
oh, that's a good question. 3 years ago, I want to say, something like that, a couple of years ago. I think it's been 3. I think we're on our third winter now coming up. Yeah. Anyway, next. Oh, yeah, so level 4, right, you're getting towards the end of your superhero powers. Spread the word, lead by example, do what I'm doing, give talks. You know, people don't know that you can replace your gas furnace and you don't need a gas furnace and you don't want a gas furnace. Right. So the more people talk about it, the more people are like, hey, that's a good idea. I can do that. Right. So that's how you make a bigger impact. Your one little contribution will do something, like it's not nothing, but it's not very significant in the gigaton world. But if we each start doing that and then tell other people to do that and they do it, it kind of builds a snowball, right? And the other thing to think about is that, yeah, you're one EV, you're not burning, 50 liters of gasoline a week. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but that 50 liters embodies several hundred liters of fossil fuels in the chain that made it possible to come to your car, right? Because there's trucks that have to move it, there's oil pipelines, it has to get refined, it has to get pumped out of the ground or dug out of the tar, apparently, in Alberta, right? So there's a huge tail of emissions for every liter of gasoline that we consume. So if you don't consume that liter, then the tail also goes away as well. So you're sort of punching above your weight when you stop consuming fossil fuels, right? And so that's the message, quick little thing. I think that's it for me. Oh, and then side quests. Yes, I put in some side quests. It took me a long time to Photoshop this image. I'm embarrassed. I'm not very good at Photoshop yet, but anyway. Other things that you can do. So I mentioned it a little bit. You can install renewable energy like solar on your roof, right? And then you can stop consuming on the grid because Ontario seems to be hell-bent on burning more gas for some reason, the most expensive form of electricity, and we want to just keep it going. So by using solar, you don't have to pay the expensive peaker plant gas rates. You can install a whole home battery, and that's probably my next step, right? A whole home battery, it's good in blackouts, but you can also do arbitrage, right? If you're on time of use, you can charge up the battery overnight at 2.5 cents a kilowatt hour. And then for the 4 hours a day that it's 26 cents a kilowatt hour, you just don't use the grid. You use the battery, right? So you can do arbitrage and save yourself money there. And then the battery actually will pay for itself over time, which is my plan when I get 12 grand saved. You can plant a carbon sink garden, which is a thing. You put some minerals into it's a fertilizer and it weathers, which means it takes CO2 out of the air and sequesters it in the ground while also feeding plants. I mean, it's not going to make a huge difference, but it'll do something. And they're actually talking about doing that on a farm scale, right, where you can actually sequester many tons of CO2 by farmers using this. I think it's like a limestone mix of some sort, but it'll take CO2 out of the air and put it in the ground, which is what we want. You can make a rain garden, which will just absorb rain locally. Not that it's rained at all this summer, but climate change. So there's a lot of things you can do. And that's it for me. Now, we have the news. Is there any questions before we go to the news? Online, in person, Henry?
I want to add one other thought, maybe reduce your dairy consumption and reduce your beef consumption. You don't have to go vegetarian,
You
but
take the steak out of my cold. No, I'm just kidding. You're right. So as far as food goes, yes, eat more plants. Plants are good. And yeah, cows are probably the worst carbon emitters. The least carbon impactful animal is actually chicken. So if you want to still be a carnivore like me, then eat chicken instead of beef, or eat less.
and I think fish isn't too bad at it.
Fish is
Shrimp is.
it depends on where the fish comes from. Right?
Shrimp is the worst fish.
Yeah, shrimp is the worst fish, but it is also very delicious. But yeah, I mean, fish can be problematic. In Canada, fish is okay because we have a sustainable fishery. Some countries not so much, but chicken is generally the most universally low carbon meat option. If you want to eat that animal still, which I do. Yeah, a question in the back.
Yeah, I since the discussion about heat pumps, because I just ordered one this morning.
Oh, did you? Oh my. Was it a Mitsubishi Zuba by any chance?
Sorry?
Was it a Mitsubishi by any chance?
No, I kind of slightly different. I've gone with what's called a hybrid system.
Okay.
So, it's just a regular heat pump. It's not like a cold weather one.
Okay.
I get 4 down to -10 centigrade. And with that, it will, reduce at least 70% and maybe more on the gas bill.
Okay.
So, and it's, they're quite expensive, so it's not a lot more than $5,000
Yeah.
for the whole installation.
Yeah, my mission was to get rid of fossil fuels entirely. So yeah, the Coal Climate let me do that. I didn't want to keep the gas burns because we had to replace it anyway. So I was just like, well, let's get rid of it.
So you have to get furnace to the backup.
Yeah, you use the gas burns. As a
The
backup.
only thing they touch is they replace the air conditioner
Yeah.
and they replace the coils inside the furnace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Yeah, they have to do.
I've got the same thing.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, the interesting thing about coal plant heat pumps that we learned sort of through experience is that so in the old way with the gas furnace and the air conditioner, right? Your electricity bill goes up in the summer, right? As you use AC.
Yeah.
With a heat pump, like a cold climate heat pump, it's the opposite. So like the summer is cheaper for us because it's way more efficient as an air conditioner than it is in the winter. Not that it's like very expensive in the winter, but it's just like it's backwards from what we're used to with air conditioning because like it's like cheaper to cool my house down in the summer than it ever has been. And we did the math. I've done the math. I work at Stackhand, so I did all the numbers, and the total energy cost is about the same for us, whether we use gas and electricity plus or just gas or just electricity by itself. So we're break even as far as the monthly costs go, but we don't have gas anymore. So, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay, cool. So first news item is about Ford's big announcement that they hyped up quite a lot, calling it a Model T moment. And unfortunately, we didn't actually get to see the product. They basically just talked about how they set up a engineering team in the sort of manner that the startup companies operate in, like Tesla or Rivian. Created this team, gave it some autonomy, said, hey, go design an EV from the ground up. And they created something that resembles the types of products that Tesla and Rivian create, or Lucid. They're going to focus on making vehicles with LFP batteries for the low cost. Their first product is going to be a mid-sized pickup truck, so think like Ranger sized. And it's supposed to be released in 2027 for $30K US, based on how well they met their promises on the F-150 Lightning's pricing. We'll see. It sounds like it's probably going to be a pretty good product. The price may not be that low, but let's hope. And they are investing $5 billion. I think 3 of that was in the battery plant and 2 was in a new vehicle plant. So they're pretty serious about it. Yeah, continue. So I think last month we talked about the new Nissan Leaf, and now the pricing information is out. So you'll be able to get it for under 45 Canadian. And they're also going to be releasing a lower cost model probably the following year, although I'm not sure exactly when. But the S Plus, which is for under 45K, it has the long range battery, and it's actually the longest range variant of the Nissan Leaf, only because it comes on smaller wheels, more efficient wheels and tires than the more expensive trims, which I always found funny because you pay more money for a car and you end up getting less range because they insist on giving you the fancy looking rims that you're going to crack if you drive over a pothole. But that's the car industry today. The S Plus should come pretty well equipped, I imagine. So, should actually be a good option. And if you don't need that much range, you can wait a little while and save some more money. It would be nice to see prices go even lower than this, but this would probably make it one of the lowest cost new EVs on the market. I can't think of too many things out there right now that are less than this, especially because the Bolt isn't on the market currently. But it should be coming back next year, so that'll be a future news item to discuss. Okay, we can go on to the next item.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The new Leaf is liquid cooled.
Yes,
It is. Yeah, it's a real EV, and it comes with the very charming quirk of having 2 charge ports, like one J1772 for AC charging only, and a NAX port for only DC charging. But at least it's on the front right of the car, which makes it very easy to plug in at a supercharger station. And on the plus side, most level 2 public chargers are still GCF and Z72. So their plug combination actually makes it probably the easiest car to charge, although it's probably kind of confusing. Yeah, there's apparently been a pretty significant increase in EV sales recently in America. Some people are calling it the Trump bump. But because the $7,500 tax credit over there is going to be phased out September 30th, there seems to be a bit of a rush in the market. And there'll probably be a dip after that, unfortunately. But at least they'll get lots of cars on the road, which will be great for the used market in a couple of years too. But yeah, pretty big increase of like 26% month over month for July and 20% approximately year over year. And inventory is down by almost half. Okay, let's see our next story. Oh, there we go. You know what's funny is I could see on the video that you would change slides, but the screen share like lagged behind. Anyway, this a bit of a fluff piece, but there's always news stories that come out about Chinese cars before they're actually unveiled, because all Chinese car makers, well, anyone who wants to sell a car in China has to file a bunch of specs of the car with the Ministry of Innovation and Information Technology. And then that information is made public. I think all they really filed is that this version of the Yangwang U9 would have 4 motors, so 1 on each wheel, that's each capable of 550 kilowatts. It's unclear, you know, what percentage of that will actually be available simultaneously. Probably not all of it. If it was, this car would have 3,000 horsepower, which is crazy. That's like 50% more than the Rimac Navara, which is, you know, already insane. But if they do it, you know, it'd be neat. You'd be able to like max out your traction while accelerating at like 200 kilometers an hour or something like that. And yeah, this car also can jump because it has hydraulic or electronic suspension, and it can jump over potholes. We need that. Yeah. Yeah. I think you know, by the time we're at, well, okay, this is slightly unrelated, but you know, by the time we have high-speed rail, China is going to have teleportation.
Exactly.
I say I came down Hunt Club on the way here, and the Yangwang would have been flying the whole way down.
Yeah, another forbidden fruit type of situation here, but I think this news item actually came from the MIIT filings as well, but Ford has filed for an electric Bronco, and that picture might just be a rendering somebody's made. I'm not sure if it's official from Ford, but we do know that they're going to be selling a fully electric version of the Bronco, well, the Bronco Sport, I suppose, because it's more of the unibody version, with a, you know, pretty decent battery, decent power, decent acceleration. They're even going to be selling a pretty good plug-in hybrid version that also gets a pretty big battery too. There are a lot of plug-in hybrids in China that actually have very decent EV usability and EV range, unlike here. But
use the BYD Blade battery.
Yeah. So anyway, it's you know, crazy that these manufacturers will be like, oh, you know, we can't figure out EVs, but when it comes to the China market, they just magically can, and they can produce vehicles like this that people would want to buy here. Anyway, let's move on.
Is that actually Ford making that, or is this like a white labeled BYD?
It's Ford with BYD as a supplier.
Yeah, how much are they supplying? Like 99% of the car, and they slap a Ford sticker on it?
Everything except for the Ford Dodges.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, probably most of the drivetrain components, but I think, you know, a lot of the interior, a lot of the tuning is going to be done by Ford engineers. So still, you know, they could use those parts suppliers and sell those vehicles here if they wanted to, if they assembled them here. So some nice news. I think it's been a while since we heard that the government was providing some pretty big grants to Volkswagen to make some very ambitious battery plants here in Canada, and Volkswagen has actually recently awarded some contracts to do various parts of the construction, structural steel, foundation, all that kind of thing, for their factory that's going to be in St. Thomas, Ontario. And I don't think this article said the production volume of the factory, but I remember it being quite large. Like, basically, it was going to be big enough to supply a significant portion, if not all, the batteries needed by the entire Canadian auto market. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't literally be like that. Like, those batteries would be traded, they'd be sent into America, and other cars with other batteries would be sent back across the border, which that's how trade works. But just an idea of the scale is quite impressive. And by that I meant enough batteries to supply a 100% EV market in Canada, with all new vehicles being sold being electric. So quite significant scale.
Supply chain.
Yeah.
Feeding home battery systems too.
Yeah, probably.
Who's our scouts getting their batteries from?
Hopefully they'll make LFP batteries. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I think for home
They're gonna be a
backup
mix.
purposes, only really LFPs make sense, because you don't care about energy density. You want safety and longevity.
It'll do both. It'll do LFP for the EREV version and then NCM for the EV version.
Okay, cool. All right, I think we can check out the next story. Still loading on my screen. I think this one was about Trump being mad at the IEA.
Yeah.
I'll just do this from memory. So basically, Trump, waved his old man hands at the clouds because the IEA, which is an agency that actually typically makes predictions that align more with the fossil fuel industry's predictions, they made these like crazy predictions for decades in a row, where they were saying that coal consumption has been like cratering, but it's totally going to level out this year, guys. Just watch. And then every year they updated their forecast to be like, okay, I know that coal consumption cratered again last year, but it's going to level out now. Renewables are going to level out. They're not going to keep increasing. I guess they're starting to get over their insanity, because even they are admitting now that renewables are going to be taking over, that kind of thing. And Trump was basically like, hey, you guys should make your forecasts say what I say they should be, instead of basing them on any kind of actual estimates. Yeah, that's how statistics works. I think that was the last news item.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Lawrence. Yeah, small hands, Trump. All right. Past events. So we had some kilowatts of coffee last month. Just 2 weekends. I think they were fun. They were well attended. Perhaps I went to them. Actually, I went to both. So there you go. Yay. We had the Avalon Summer Festival. So we did a stack display, took some pictures with people, had some nice EGMP cars.
Yeah, we powered an inflatable arch there. The black car in the bottom corner, you can see the blue arch just behind it. Unfortunately, the startup current on the blower was too much and kept tripping the car. So we had to pull the generator over, fire it up, get the arch blown up, and then we were able to switch to the car and kept it going after that.
Oh, interesting.
So we had the and then we turned the generator off. But we had the generator like right beside the car. But no, seriously, folks, we're powering it with the car. I promise.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And popcorn. So that's good. Queenswood Heights Family Fun Day Music Festival. So there were a lot of bouncing houses. I heard we powered them with 2 trucks, right?
No,
Oh, 2.
one truck, 2 castles.
1 truck, 2 casks. That makes more sense. Oh, it says right there on the slide, isn't that? And a kegerator. And that was just this weekend.
That was,
Wow.
yeah.
And then Capital Pride, I was downtown with the group. I was on Bank Street, it was well attended, it was busy, people walking by, had a lot of people asking me about hydrogen for some reason. I had to dispel that. There was one guy who came up to me and he said, what we really need is more nuclear so that we can have more hydrogen. And I'm like, you just described the most expensive energy system known to humanity, but cool. Yeah, I'd rather the cheap one so I don't have to pay for it. He didn't seem convinced that wind and solar are cheaper than nuclear. So I was like, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just math. All right, upcoming events. We'll have our monthly meeting next month on September 29th. It will be here. If you want to join us in person, there's free parking. There are no refreshments. We sometimes go to the pub afterwards if you're into that. There's EV charging. And we also have Teams, as those who are on Teams currently know. Sorry about the technical issues we're having. Kilowatts and coffee this month. I didn't write this, so I don't know the month by heart, so I have to look at the screen. But we've got the Morning Owl out in Mantic. Oh, that's a good spot. I like that one. Cafe Latecino in Orleans. And we're back to Second Cup in the Beans. We've sort of covered the city, east, west, and south. Well, not too west, but we're center. There are no events on the 20th and 27th because we have other events. And there's a sneak event that just happened that we just got aware of today, so I've made a slide for it. So if you want to attend this, I don't think we're going to have like a whole thing. It's just if you want to bring your car to it, feel free. Screen cap this and then type in the gobbledygook for the link. They didn't have a nice tiny URL. If you want to sign up, you have to sign up with the organizer. It's at the Balloon Festival over in Gatineau this weekend. They want you to arrive around 11 a.m. They have to be in place before noon. There's more details in that link above, but feel free to show up. It's like muscle cars, interesting cars, and EVs. They reached out to us to see if we can get some people over there with EVs. So if you feel like showing off your car and talking to people, feel free. And yeah,
I dumped the link in the chat.
you dump the link in the chat. The link is in the chat. All right. And on September 20th, we have the Climate March, which is why there's no carbon copy. Yes, you can read the slide. But basically, we want Kearney to be more environmentally focused. Node pipelines, building pipelines in 2025 is building stranded assets that we then have to pay for with our tax dollars. So let's not do that. Also, China's not going to want oil in 10 years. So there's no point in making a whole bunch of infrastructure to send them stuff that they're going to stop buying. We also have the Taste of Wellington event. It's the world's largest street festival. That might be a real statistic. I'm not sure, but that's what they're claiming. So I'm going to take them at their word. It's in quotes. It's at Wellington and Island Park. We're going to be powering some attractions with some vehicles. The link is there on the slide if you're interested in more information. And on the 25th and 28th, we have the Carpet Fair coming up. So we're going to have a booth only. We're sharing it with cafes. It starts on Thursday and goes until Sunday. It's a big event.
Volunteers.
We need volunteers, lots of volunteers. It's a busy thing. And yeah, be prepared to have fun. All right, so we do have memberships if you'd like. We have different tiers. You can also donate to EVCO if you like. Please sign up. It helps us do events and pay for insurance and venues like this. We're just a nonprofit, right? We're all volunteers, so anything helps. We also have a YouTube channel with 116 subscribers. I don't know if this is current, but yay.
Is that a real statistic?
It might be it was a real statistic. I don't know if it's current, but it was at one point when my screen capture was taken. And Raymond has taken over uploading because apparently I take too long. Because I'm busy. I'm not retired like some people.
118 subscribers now.
118. It went up. It's not a real statistic anyways. Outdated. So there you go.
Like and subscribe.
And now we will start our roundtable. So for those of you who are live and in person and online in live, Stick around and we'll do our chat. But this is where your video ends if you're watching us on YouTube. So thank you for watching us, and we will see you next month. Like, comment, and subscribe.